Hello, everybody, and welcome to another broadcast of Michigan basketball here on WCBN Sports. My name is Chris Pickler, alongside Nathan Sorensen. Nathan, how you doing today?
Oh, pretty darn well.
All right, we are about 2 minutes away from, I almost said kickoff, from tip. Let's get started with the starting lineups. First for the visiting Indiana Hoosiers. Number 1, 6'4", 175 guard, out of Georgia, Aljami Durham. Number 2, 6'1", 195 redshirt senior Josh Newkirk. Number 4, their big star, 6'3", 195 guard Robert Johnson. Number 13, their 6'7", 230 forward. He'll be playing against Mo Wagner, Juwan Morgan. And number 20, 6'10", 249 sophomore out of Colorado, Deron Davis. And for the home Michigan Wolverines, it is number 1, Charles Matthews, number 12, Muhammad Ali Abdul-Rahman, number 13, Mo Wagner, number 22, Duncan Robinson, and playing point guard, it is not Simpson, it is number 55, Eli Brooks. Nate, we're about to get started in about a minute, but what's the key for the Indiana Hoosiers to get this upset here at Chrysler?
Well, you know, they're a very good team scoring inside. They have beaten their opponent in points in the paint, I think, in each of their games so far this season. They managed to do so as well against Duke, which is obviously not easy, especially with their all-star Marvin Bagley.
Yes. Doing
so excellent, great inside scorer. They're still able to edge him out in points in the paint. And obviously that's been a weak point for this Michigan basketball team, probably for John Beilein's entire tenure. You know, interior defense is always a problem. You know, so far we have Duncan Robinson and Mo Wagner playing the 4 and 5. You know, obviously Duncan isn't a guy with a lot of size.
Yep.
Mo Wagner's been bringing it, been playing more like a big so far this year, but he is prone to get fouls, especially early on. We'll pick up some ticky-tack ones. We'll probably see a lot of big minutes from John Teskey, the big 7-foot, 1-inch center coming off the bench, probably the only true center Michigan basketball has had, you know, in quite a few years. I don't even know who else he could be compared to.
Mitch McGarry, I would say, probably is the last true center.
Yeah, that's true. He was still maybe around 6'10" at the tallest. I would say he wasn't really quite a 7-footer. Yeah, a true center is Teskey. We're probably going to need him to come in, play some excellent defense, you know, and protect the glass.
It's going to be important for this Michigan team to rebound after a really rough second half against North Carolina. They lost the game by, I would say, a solid 25-30 points at North Carolina. Listen, North Carolina is a good team, don't get us wrong, but the big issue here is rebounding, and what can Michigan do to try to crash the glass and try to beat this Indiana team and hold serve at home?
Yeah, well, we're going to need to see, probably, I don't know if Duncan Robinson will play the 4 as much as we've been used to seeing. Probably going to see a lot of livers today. He's been, you know, he plays pretty similar to Duncan. He likes to play outside, shoot the 3, but he's a little bit more athletic, can go up, get some more boards, I would think. You know, Mo Wagner, I think in the offseason he's been working with strength coach Sanderson, really put on a lot of weight, and it shows. He's playing a lot better inside. You know, he's doubled his rebounding average so far this year. He was only averaging about 4.2 rebounds last year. Now it's up to about 8.5, which is really excellent, a huge improvement. We're going to need to see him keep that up. He's had double-doubles in about 3 games so far this year. You know, we're going to need another double-double from him today if we're going to pull this one out.
Absolutely, it's going to be a really good game. As Chrysler Arena filling up pretty quickly. I've been to Chrysler Arena for a couple of the games. We have not seen Chrysler as it is right now. The student section is completely full. People are here really excited, and it's mostly Michigan fans. There's some Sea Red every now and then, but for the most part, this is a Michigan fan base here at Chrysler today.
Yeah, and I know Chrysler hasn't always been the most lively arena. You know, they had a little bit of trouble, you know, filling it up, getting excited for Michigan basketball, even despite the success the past few years. You know, a lot of buzz around this Michigan program after the big tournament performance last year. The great performance by Derek Walton Jr. especially. You know, a lot of people are excited. You know, they've got a lot to be excited about. Mo Wagner's an excellent player, and you can't help but love watching him play. Can't wait to see if he has a big game here today.
So we talked about it briefly at the start, and I want to go back to it. Who is Indiana's player to watch? Who's their best player that Michigan needs to watch out for in this one?
You know, it's pretty tough to say. I would say it's probably Johnson. He's their leading scorer so far with about 16 points per game, I believe. He had a big game against Duke. You know, really this entire Indiana basketball team played very well against Duke. You know, #1 team in the nation, really the clear-cut #1 team in the nation. And Indiana played them tight the entire game. Really, it was a late run by the Blue Devils and made it up to like a 10-point game there at the end. But Johnson had a big game. He really kept him in it the entire time. And, you know, I really think this Indiana team is probably riding pretty high after that. It was a great performance. I can really see them coming out strong and giving Michigan a lot, you know, everything they can handle today.
Indiana 4-3 right now. You mentioned Robert Johnson. He has started all 7 games for the Hoosiers, averaging 14.1 points per game, shooting an even 50% from the field, 36% from 3. Those are both pretty good numbers. Only 68% free throw wise, but Robert Johnson definitely a guy to look out for. He scored 99 points on the season. And like you said, Indiana 4-3. This is not the same Indiana team that we're used to seeing in past years contending for a Big Ten championship, because this team, I don't know how to put it, they're not very good. This is not a very good Indiana Hoosier team. They're one of the bottom teams in the Big Ten. And the Wolverines, that's why I say they need to hold serve. Just do what you need to do, take care of business at home, and move on to the future.
Yeah, I know that there weren't high expectations necessarily for this Indiana team, you know, with the new coach, Archie Miller, formerly of the Dayton Flyers, came over after Tom Crean was fired. But still, I don't think that this Indiana team is a team you want to underestimate right now. They have a lot of experience, juniors and seniors, you know, especially I believe Johnson. Johnson is a senior.
Yes.
Davis is Davis is only a sophomore. Morgan is an upperclassman. You know, they've got experience across the board. You know, Miller.
Johnson and Newkirk are both seniors.
Yeah, Miller may be new to this program, but he's been an excellent coach in the NCAA for quite a while now. He's made Dayton a very good program. Obviously, brother of Bruce Miller, Arizona's basketball coach.
Yes.
You know, he's not.
We've seen this family in college basketball in the past, absolutely.
He's an excellent coach. I'm sure he's going to do excellent things here at Indiana. So, you know, I would not underestimate this Indiana basketball team, especially after that big game against Duke. You know, even though it was in Champaign, or not Bloomington, you know, you would expect them to come out with a victory. You know, it's really nothing to scoff at. You know, the 10-point loss to those Duke Blue Devils that are so good. You know, this is a good Indiana basketball team. I don't think Michigan's going to get an easy win here today.
Of course not. And we said the starting lineups earlier. I'm going to repeat them again. Indiana has Durham, Newkirk, Johnson, their best player, Morgan, and Davis. Michigan is going to counter with Matthews, Abdur-Rahman, Wagner, Robinson, and Eli Brooks, not Xavier Simpson. What do you think of that choice real quickly, Nate?
Well, Brooks has started the last couple of games now. I mean, Xavier started about the first 5, wasn't doing so well. You know, Beeline has him starting on the bench. He's really the 6th man, though, and they're really playing a 3-man rotation at point guard, along with Jerron Sampson, the graduate transfer from Ohio. You know, really, I don't know if it really matters who starts at point guard for Michigan. All 3 are probably going to get significant minutes today. You know, Beeline's still feeling it out. He's really feeling out the rotation for the entire roster. Tons of guys are getting playing time. So we'll see how it goes today.
It's Wagner and Davis getting ready for the tip. And the fans are on their feet here at Chrysler. Here we go. It's the first Big Ten game for both of these teams this season. Here we go. And it's going to go out of bounds. They're going to say it is off of Indiana. It's going to be Michigan ball, and they're going to have the first possession.
Yeah, Davis won the tip. He swatted it away there. He really kind of bodied Mo on that tip-off. Not something you really see on an opening tip.
Abdur-Rahman gets it to Brooks, and we're underway. Duncan Robinson on the right wing. Hands it off to Brooks, goes inside to Wagner. Wagner works against Davis. He tries to go underneath the basket. Now he'll put it up with the right hand. Up no good. And they're going to say it's a foul on Charles Matthews. It was a push going for the rebound, and it's going to be Indiana basketball.
Well, You know, I like the start there going to Mo Wagner. Obviously, he's going to need to have a big game here today for the Michigan Wolverines. He's their best scoring option. I like that they're getting him involved early and often here.
And Nate, how do you like this? Charles Matthews is going to come out for Jordan Poole here 20 seconds into the game.
Interesting choice. I mean, obviously not a guy you want getting in foul trouble early on, though. They're going to need him.
Morgan had an open three, didn't take it, moved in for a two, no good. Abdul Rock on the rebounds. They're going left to right on your radio dial. Duncan Robinson in the corner, gets back out to Brooks, right wing. In the corner to Duncan Robinson, he rolls left. Finds Mo Wagner, gets it out to Jordan Poole, back to Abdul Rockman, had a three, didn't take it, top of the key. He'll get it to Wagner, they're down to 12 on the shot clock. Hand off to Poole. Poole looking for somebody, top of the key, Wagner. Left wing, Abdul Rockman. He's going to roll inside, gets it to Brooks for three, no good. Rebound goes to Morgan.
Very aggressive defense by the Hoosiers right there, not allowing any penetration from Michigan offense.
Durham going to go in. It's stripped away by Duncan Robinson. He's going to take it, and they're going to slow it down and reset. Actually, Muhammad Ali Abdul Rahman was open in the corner for three, didn't take it. He'll hand off to Poole, and they're going to get it outside to Robinson. Back to Poole, right wing. Wagner, top of the key, left wing. Abdul Rahman gets it to Brooks. He wanted the three, didn't take it, top of the key. Gets the screen from Wagner. He'll roll right back, roll left in the corner. Jordan Poole, three. No good, it's long. Rebound once again goes to Morgan.
Yeah, Michigan's really trying to run the offense here right now. They're just not finding anything, having to settle for late shot clock jumpers.
They're going to go inside to Davis, works against Wagner, puts it up with the left hand. No good. Wagner gets the rebound. Brooks brings it up left to right. Abdul Rahman left wing, had a three, didn't take it. He gets his defender to jump, gets a Duncan Robinson left corner three, good! Duncan Robinson for three, and the Michigan Wolverines on the board.
Love the aggressiveness by Rockman right there. You know, running the offense wasn't working, so he really pushes it, tries to get something going in transition, and gets a bucket.
Johnson and Newkirk in the corner. He gets his defender jump, moves in for a long two, no good. Robinson the rebounds. Brooks brings it up. He works against Newkirk, hands it off to Duncan Robinson, right wing. Robinson goes inside. He finds Abdul Rahman, left wing. Now Poole, corner three, good! The other corner for three, and it's 6-0.
I love seeing those threes fall early for the Wolverines.
Here we go. This is Durham. He works against Duncan Robinson. Gets it to Johnson, right wing. Johnson still got it, moves in the corner, and it's going to be stripped out of bounds. It's going to stay with Indiana. That was Eli Brooks on the strip.
Yeah, active hands so far here for the Wolverines, really playing aggressively on defense.
Johnson gets it out to Newkirk. They're going to reset with 16 on the shot clock. He works against Brooks, top of the key. Left wing to Durham. Durham gets it to Morgan. Morgan's going to go inside. He's going to find Davis wide open under the basket. He'll put it up, put it in, and he draws the foul. No, they're going to say it's an offensive foul. That was on Davis. It looked like he had the and one. Instead, it's a turnover for the Hoosiers.
I think that foul was on Morgan, off ball. Not really sure what happened there. Didn't really look like a dirty play though.
They missed an easy and one opportunity for the Hoosiers. That's a big mistake for Indiana. Poole gets it out to Rahman, left wing, top of the key. Robinson three. No, it's off the front rim, no good. Rebound goes to Johnson. Durham back to Johnson, top of the key. He's going to go inside, just throw it up, no good, but he's going to draw the foul. He'll get 2 free throws.
It's interesting, you're really seeing the two identities of each of these teams. So far, ever since the first possession where Mo tried to shoot inside, Michigan has been taking threes exclusively. Now every time here, Indiana is attacking the basket, you know, really making this Michigan defense work.
It looks like John Teskey is going to be ready to come in after this first free throw for Mo Wagner, and they're going to give him a cheer for this one. They really like John Teskey. Robert Johnson is the free throw shooter. He is a 68% free throw shooter. First is up, and it is good. And Teskey will replace Mo Wagner.
Yeah, it's interesting. You normally don't see coaches pulling guys after getting only one foul. Normally that's something happens after a guy picks up 2, but Michigan's so deep, and John Beeline's still trying to figure out these rotations, giving a bunch of guys a lot of minutes here. His decisions right now are definitely indicative of the depth of this team.
McSwain Jr. is going to replace Davis, and now Morgan is going to come out after he had a foul. He'll come out for Hartman.
Interesting, though, for the Wolverines, without Matthews or Wagner on the court right now, it's a lot of scoring they're missing, sitting on that bench.
Second free throw is up and good, and Brooks is going to bring it back for the Wolverines. 6-2 Michigan, 16:43 to go first half. Abdul Rahman on top of the key. He still works against Newkirk. Poole left wing 3. He had it, didn't take it. Gets it out to Brooks on the right wing. Brooks looking for somebody, gets a screen from Teskey, top of the key. He's going to give it to the right. Abdur Rahman, deep three, right wing, good! Michigan's got 9 points, and they've got 3 threes. It's 9-2 Michigan. Durham's got it left wing. Now he's going to find it inside to Hartman. Hartman rolls against Duncan Robinson. It sure looks like a mismatch. He's going to fall over, puts up the shot, no good. Rebound goes to Teskey. Brooks is going to try to hurry. He finds Poole in the corner. He'll shoot a three. Good!
Wow, and that was just some excellent defense by Duncan Robinson right there. You know, they thought they had a mismatch. Seeing Duncan Robinson defending them in the post there. No, sir. Duncan Robinson was not letting that happen right there. Excellent stand on the defensive end, leading to that three-point basket in transition.
And a timeout is called by Indiana. 16:04 to go first half. Well, Michigan's got 12 points and they got 4 3-pointers. It's looking all right for the Wolverines early on.
Yeah, definitely. And all of these threes, you know, they're spot-up shots for the most part, coming right off of a pass. They're really running the offense, getting a lot of off-ball movement, setting screens. You know, first couple of possessions there looked like they were having trouble. You know, they couldn't really get a good basket or a good look at a basket, I should say, until the end of the shot clock. Now they're really kind of attacking, looking for shots earlier on, and it's working out well so far. You know, I really got to love the effort that these big men are having here. Wagner and Teskey really haven't been getting a lot of looks to score, but they've been doing excellent work setting screens for these Michigan shooters.
Michigan has taken 8 shots, and 7 of them are three-pointers. Jordan Poole, 2 of 3 from 3. Abdur Rahman made his only three-point attempts. Robinson is 1 of 2, and Mo Wagner is the only person to take a 2-point shot. He did not make it on the first possession of the game. It is 12-2 Michigan, and we said it early on, this Indiana team, not necessarily the best team in the world, but you can't take them lightly. It's the Big Ten Conference, but right now Michigan, they're doing exactly what they need to hold serve here at Chrysler Arena.
Yeah, definitely. You know, what I was worried about was Indiana being able to score in the paint. You know, especially Duncan Robinson, a very much an undersized 4. I thought that was a mismatch they could take advantage of so far, and they've tried. Duncan has just really stepped up and played pretty darn well here to start this game.
That's exactly what you expect out of the Michigan team. Three-pointers are absolutely, that's their goal. It's live and die by the three, and it was early on in that North Carolina game. Michigan made their first 8 shots. I think 4 of them were three-pointers, and they really stuck with North Carolina for the first about 10 minutes of the game before North Carolina, I mean, they just pulled away, and after that it was kind of game over. Yeah,
definitely when they just went cold from the 3, and I don't know. You know, that's just something that happens. We've seen that a lot with these Michigan Wolverines. You know, sometimes the 3's just not falling. There's not a whole lot you can do. You know, that's why I wasn't necessarily that alarmed by the UNC loss. You know, obviously you never like to see that, but on the road, this is a young team. You know, shots just weren't falling. You know, they ended up getting blown out, but they still were playing very hard that entire game, especially at the end.
It was a 30-point game at one point, and I think they only lost by about 14, 15 points. So they did make a slight comeback.
Yeah, there at the end, you know, it was kind of garbage time, but, you know, there are a lot of young guys in there. I know E.B. Watson especially was playing very well at the end. They were all playing hard. You know, that's something you like to see, even in a blowout.
Indiana comes out with Durham, Newkirk, Johnson, McSwain, and Green. Michigan keeps their lineup of Poole, Abdur Rahman, Teskey, Robinson, Brooks. This is Durham rolling to the left. Right wing gets it to Hartman. Inside to McSwain Jr. puts it up, no good. Couldn't get it over Teskey, and there he is again on defense. That was a great play. Brooks brings it left wing, gets it to Poole. Poole to Abdur Rahman. Abdur Rahman works against Green. Back to Teskey. He swings it over right wing to Robinson. Gets it back top of the key. Teskey over to Jordan Poole. Brooks is going to go inside to Teskey. He'll throw it up, no good. It was tipped by Durham, and Indiana will run it back. This is Davis that gets it to Hartman. Hartman's going to roll inside on Duncan Robinson. He's going to think twice about that one. Gets it out to Durham. Durham gets it to Johnson. Johnson fakes the handoff to Green. He loses the ball. He gets it back. He's rolling all around, and he gets stripped away by John Teskey. Rebound goes to Poole. Poole brings it up to Abdur Rahman. Had a 3 in the corner. Did not take it. Instead, they'll get it to Poole, and Poole is going to reset with Brooks. Brooks gets it right wing Robinson. Robinson works against Hartman. Gets it to Poole. Poole top of the key. Left wing Abdur Rahman. Abdur Rahman works against Green. Gets a screen to the right from John Teskey. Abdur-Rahman gets it over to Duncan Robinson. Fakes the three. Now he's going to step back the three. No good. Rebound goes to Green.
Yeah, we'll see what Indiana does here on offense. They've been trying to go for some post-up looks here. Not really working out so well.
They go inside to McSwain Jr. He has nothing. He's going to bring it back out to Davis. Davis to Johnson. Then left wing goes to Green. That's Durham, excuse me. Durham gets it to McSwain Jr. They're down to 10 on the clock. Don't listen to the fans. They're faking it. They go inside to McSwain Jr. He throws it up because the fans say 2 on the clock. It wasn't. It was 6 on the clock. Doesn't matter. Didn't go in.
Yeah, and so far, Michigan's doing a great job. They've not allowed any offensive rebounds, really controlling the glass so far.
Abdur-Rahman gets it inside to Teskey. He was calling for it. He'll put up the short fadeaway. No good. Rebound goes to Johnson. Johnson brings it up right to left. He works against Brooks. Gets it over to Davis. Davis goes inside to McSwain Jr., who works against Teskey. Teskey's got it, and he tries to get it up to Johnson. Instead, he's going to get stripped by Brooks, and Johnson is going to get him for the intentional foul.
Again, there, Indiana giving it to McSwain Jr. in the post. It's just, he is at a clear height disadvantage against Teskey. You know, just stands there with his arms up. He's just got no chance. He really had no choice but to throw it out of there. Brooks, what an excellent job jumping that pass and reading that Indiana offense.
Well, it's a completely different lineup now for both teams. We had about 6 different subs. For Indiana, it's going to be Durham, Johnson. No, it's Newkirk, Johnson, Green, Morgan, and Davis. Michigan going to come out with Matthews, Simpson, Livers, Abdur-Rahman, and Wagner. Simpson's got it. He's the point guard. He gets it to Mo Wagner, left top of the key, who works against Davis, finds Abdur-Rahman. Abdur-Rahman rolls to the right. Now he's going to get to Matthews. Matthews inside Wagner, who's double teamed. Now he finds Xavier Simpson. Oh, he had a 3, but he bobbled the ball and said he's going to go inside, and he gets big blocked by Morgan. Instead, they'll get it. Wagner, 3, didn't take it. He'll step in and make the long 2. Good! This is Green. Green works against Xavier Simpson. Hands it out to Johnson, left wing. Works against Abdur-Rahman. Gets a screen, gets it back to Green, and they're going to get Green for a travel. Oh, they're going to get Green for a travel. That's a turnover. It is 14-2. Michigan on top.
Nothing is working here for Indiana so far. They still have not scored in about the last 4 minutes now. You know, that turnover is really not going to help them.
Well, they had the N1 opportunity that was called back from the foul, and ever since then they've had nothing going.
Yeah, it's also very interesting. Indiana is a team that really takes care of the ball, too. So far, not working out too well for them.
Livers right wing goes inside to Mo Wagner, who's doubled. What a pass from Wagner to Livers. Are you kidding me? Right around his defender. He puts it up, puts it in at 16-2.
Yeah, they're double teaming Mo every time he gets it in the post there. You know, he's got to keep his eyes up. Excellent play right there.
This is Morgan working against Wagner. He's going to try to back him up, tries to back him up. He's going to go under Wagner, puts it up, no good, gets his own rebound, throws it up, throws it in, and finally Indiana breaks that 4-minute scoring drought.
Yeah, definitely Mo Wagner is not the interior post-up defender that Teskey is. Indiana recognizes that, goes right at him. Good work there in the low post.
Right wing Abdur-Rahman tries to get into Livers and can't. He's just going to go inside now. Left wing Simpson 3, no good, but Charles Matthews right there for the board. No one was even around when he puts it up and in. I mean, there was nobody around him under the basket. He just grabbed it and threw it up and in. That wasn't even close. This is Johnson working against Charles Matthews, and they're going to call a foul on Charles Matthews on the floor. And with 11:55 to go first half, we will have a timeout. Michigan 18, Indiana 4.
Yeah, so far, gotta love what you're seeing out of these Michigan Wolverines. You know, on offense, pretty much everything's working. You know, whenever the 3 ball is falling, good things are going to happen. Now especially, they get the 3s going. Now they can start to look to score inside. They have all sorts of space out there. Now especially, every time they feed it to Mo Wagner in the post, he is seeing double teams. You know, there's somebody open on the floor. He's an excellent passer. You know, he's keeping his eyes up. He's finding the open man. Things just keep getting easier for this Michigan offense.
It's interesting to see Teskey coming into the season. Teskey was the clear backup, and he was the guy that I think a lot of Michigan fans were concerned about. Last year didn't do much, but he needed to replace a guy like DJ Wilson, and obviously he's not going to be at the same level as DJ Wilson. But what I would say is that Teskey is really coming in, and he has that presence on defense. Maybe not on offense quite yet, but on defense he has that presence.
Yeah, definitely. You know, I don't think many centers in college basketball are able to replicate what Mo Wagner does on the offensive end. But that's not, you know, Michigan doesn't necessarily need that all the time. They've got plenty of guys who can score. You know, defense has not always been so easy for these Wolverines. He provides something very unique for this Michigan defense. Can really lock down the paint and anchor this defense like, you know, no one else in Michigan basketball in recent memory has been able to do.
Let's talk about some stats for a second. Jordan Poole is leading the team with 6 points. He's 2 of 3 from 3. Those are his 3 attempts. Over for Indiana, I mean, 4 points. You've got Morgan with 2 and Green and Johnson with 2, and those two were from free throws. Indiana 1 of 8 shooting. Michigan 7 of 15. I mean, that's just such a big difference.
Yeah, definitely. Indiana's identity is to score in the paint. You know, that's probably coming into this game they thought they were going to be able to do that. You know, but so far Michigan's defense has just been so good. I'm surprised we haven't seen Indiana, you know, try to make some adjustments. Maybe, you know, run plays looking for some outside shots. Maybe set somebody up on the perimeter for a three-pointer. But they continue to keep going down low in the post. I just don't see their luck changing if they just keep trying to score inside. You know, Mo Wagner so far is looking good. Teskey just looks absolutely unstoppable in the paint. I would not want to test this Michigan defense inside for the rest of this game.
Early on, I mean, it seems like it's just been a dominant performance. Michigan just making all of their threes. They're 4 of 9 from 3, which is good, not great. But it seems like to score 18-4, their defense, which was about as bad as you'll ever see a defense against North Carolina, is pretty dominant today. Obviously, there's a big talent gap there, but at the same time, I mean, yeah, the defense is a lot better.
Yeah, UNC is obviously a great team. You know, May just was absolutely shooting the lights out. You know, there's not a whole lot you can do. He's probably going to be in the conversation for Player of the Year when it's all said and done here. You know, just sometimes great players have great games and there's not a whole lot you can do. And that's what I think happened in that UNC game. You know, I would not panic if you're, as a Michigan Wolverine fan. You know, this team always improves as the season goes on under John Beilein. They've proven that time and again, and so far, we're seeing a lot of improvement here today.
All right, we're out of the timeout. Indiana comes out with Newkirk, Johnson, Green, Morgan, and Davis. Counters with Poole, Simpson, Livers, Abdur-Rahman, and Wagner. They're going to go right inside to Wagner against Davis against Wagner. No good, but he's going to get his own rebound. He's going to put it up and in. Wagner, not the defender that you want him to be.
Yeah, he did well on the initial post up there. Got to get those defensive rebounds. If Indiana continues to get offensive boards, it's going to be a bit of a struggle here for Michigan.
Simpson's pass is tipped to Poole. He gets it back. Now Poole's going to go inside, gets it over to Wagner. He'll put up the mid-range shot. No good. It's short. Rebound goes to Newkirk. And it looks like the refs missed a blatant travel there. Instead, the pass is going to be tipped by Poole, and the rebound's going to stay with Indiana with Green. They're going to go inside. They're going to test Livers. They go inside to Morgan, who backs him down, puts up the shot. It's good, and the foul with the right hook. And it's going to be an N1 opportunity for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, interesting. Going right in, they really want to take advantage of these Michigan power forwards on defense. You know, Livers and Robinson split time there at the 4. Both a little undersized, more want to play on the outside, you know, shoot threes on the offensive end. I would like to see if Beilein might try a Teskey and Mo Wagner front court today.
The free throw is missed. Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman gets the rebound. They go right wing to Livers. Livers rolls left, gets it top of the key to Poole. Gets it to Xavier Simpson in the corner. He rolls to the right, gets it inside to Mo Wagner. Wagner works against Davis. Let's see what he can do. He backs him in with 6 on the clock, goes under the basket, puts up the reverse layup. It's good.
He just makes it look easy down there.
Now Indiana's going to rush it. They almost lose the ball, and they do lose the ball. That's Livers who's going to go all the way. 22-8, Michigan on top. 10:30 to go, first half.
This Michigan defense is swarming so far this game. They are just jumping passing lanes left and right.
Green's got it. He's going to roll on Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman. Throws it up. No good. Wagner the rebound. Michigan's going to hurry with Poole. Poole finds Wagner top of the key, gets it over to Abdur Rahman in the left wing. Now he goes corner, it's Livers, back to Wagner. Wagner works against Davis again, let's see what he can do. It's Davis tips it, and it's going to go out of bounds. It's going to be off Wagner, Indiana ball. And it looks like Johnson is going to be replaced by Durham.
Yeah, well, Indiana kind of breaking the run here. They've put together quite a few good possessions here on offense. They're looking to try to, get some consistency here, put something together.
Robinson, Brooks, and Watson all looking to come in on the next dead ball. But right now it's Indiana ball inside to Davis, and Wagner went for the steal. He didn't get it, and they're going to get an easy two.
Yeah, when you're playing down low as a 5, you're the last line of defense. You really can't take risks, trying to jump a pass the same way the wings have been so far this game.
Abdur Rahman's got it top of the key. He hands it off to Wagner, goes inside. Nice backdoor pass to Poole. It's up and good. What a pass from Wagner. Indiana's going to hurry right back to Green. Green goes inside to Davis. They've really been testing Wagner with Davis so far, and it's been successful. He'll back him down, puts up the right hook, no good. Wagner gets the rebound. Gets it out to Simpson, left to right, finds Abdur Rahman. Corner, Poole 3, air ball, and the rebound's going to go to Morgan. Newkirk brings it back. He's going to reset for the Hoosiers. Now he's going to go inside. It's a long 2, top of the key, no good. They're going to let it go out of bounds with 8:46 to go in the first half. Michigan 24, Indiana 10. It's a brand new lineup for the Wolverines. It's Duncan Robinson, Mo Wagner, E.B. Watson, Eli Brooks, and Jordan Poole for the Wolverines. Here we go, this is Brooks. Almost lost the ball, he gets it back, finds Robinson right wing. Robinson to the one great shooter to the other, Robinson to Watson. Brooks in the corner, he's gonna try to go inside, he can't. Now he's gonna keep going back inside, tries to force it, he gets it blocked by Hartman. Indiana gets the board. Now on the other end, it's Durham, just throws up the shot top of the key. It was a long 2, it didn't go in. Brooks gets the rebound.
Yeah, Brooks definitely dribbled a little too much on that last possession, especially Michigan's been doing so well playing within the motion offense.
Poole drives in, looks for the drive. Instead, he's going to get fouled. He'll be fouled by Morgan, his first. And we've only had 7 fouls in the game, which is not a lot. 4 and 3 in favor of Indiana. And Michigan will get the ball just over 8 minutes to go, 24-10. They're on top. Brooks top of the key, he rolls to the left, is trying to find somebody, gets a screen from Wagner. Wagner going to go inside, now gets to Robinson. Robinson right wing, he dribbles it with 6 on the clock. Brooks has it, he's going to go inside, gets the spin move, fade away at the free throw line, good from Eli Brooks.
Wow, that's a tough shot right there. Not one I expected him to make, that is just a big time play.
McRoberts is checked in for Indiana. It's Newkirk, Green, Morgan, McRoberts, and Hartman. McRoberts has only played 4 games the entire season. They're going to go inside to Morgan. He'll post up against Wagner, and he's going to make the layup easily. It's 26-12.
Yeah, it looks like they're not going to stop with the post-ups on offense anytime soon. Yeah, and now Teskey's coming up to the scores table. Not surprised to see him checking in right now.
Wagner top of the key, right wing to Duncan Robinson. Back to E.B. Watson. Watson loses the ball. Oh, he fumbles the pass, and Rick Roberts is going to slow down. Now he'll hand off to Newkirk, and it gets stripped away by Eli Brooks, but the Indiana gets the ball back on the ground, gets it to Morgan. Wagner was on the ground, and it was an easy dunk for Indiana.
Yeah, Indiana's really, starting to click here on the offensive end. John Teskey's coming in here. We're going to see if he can fix that for this Michigan defense.
Teskey getting ready to come in, so is Johnson. The next dead ball will be a stoppage. Duncan Robinson left wing 3. It was a deep 3, but he wanted it. Now he's going to roll to the right, go outside to the corner to Poole 3. Good! Oh, Poole is feeling it, folks. He's 3 of 5 from 3. It's 29-14, Michigan on top.
And all of the shots have been inside the corner, coming off penetration. They kick it out to him, feet set. It doesn't get much easier on the three-point line than the shots he's making here today.
They'll go inside to Morgan, who works against Wagner. Now he'll put it up with the right hand up and good. My goodness, they are just going all in on Wagner right now.
Yeah, they're going to need to bring over some help, double team. So far, they really haven't shown the ability to pass out of, post-ups. They should really be doubling those every time.
6 minutes left, 29-16. Jordan Poole, another three, top of the key, no good. Rebound goes to Hartman. Newkirk brings it back right to left for the Indiana Hoosiers, who are down 29-16, just under 6 minutes to go in the first half. Now he's going to drive inside, kicks it out to Green for three. That's their best three-point shooter, no good. Wagner had the rebound, he lost it. Now it's on the ground, and it's going to go to the corner. It'll stay with Indiana. Now it's McRoberts, who was open, didn't take it. Back to McRoberts' left wing. And now the refs are going to call for a stoppage. I'm not quite sure what it is. The possession arrow does go to Indiana. I'm not sure what they're going to review. It won't matter yet because we're going to have a stoppage in play. 5:35 to go, first half. Michigan 29, Indiana 16.
Yeah, that was bizarre. I really have no idea what's going on here. They're sitting over looking at, they're obviously replaying something. I don't know what it would be.
Well, there was the scrum on the ground, and it looks like it was going to be a jump ball. It would be in favor of Indiana. The ball just kind of trickled to the corner. It looked like it was McRoberts who grabbed the ball in the corner. He had it, but then right when he picked it up, it wasn't out of bounds. Mid-possession, they just stopped the play. I'm not quite sure what that could have been, but they stopped the play mid-possession. It should be Indiana ball when we come back, but it's not entirely sure. Yeah, not sure what they're going, but the refs have looked at what they needed to look for. They're now conferencing on the end in the center of the court, and it looks like they're all set.
Well, so far here, Indiana's obviously got off to a slow start. They're really starting to pick it up now, though. The post-ups are working, especially on Mo Wagner. They got John Teskey coming in now, though, for the Wolverines. Hopefully he's going to put a stop to it. We'll see. So far he's been looking really good. Definitely has the ability to stop those one-on-one. I'm just really surprised that Michigan has just allowed Indiana to go at Mo Wagner in the post one-on-one. It seems like a really simple solution to just double team, especially how well they've been doing forcing turnovers, jumping passing lanes. I would really want to force Indiana's big men to have to pass out of double teams in the post. It's really not an easy thing to do, especially for a college player. It really could be an easy way to force some turnovers here.
And it's something that's really interesting to me. Michigan 5 of 12 from three-point line. Indiana 0 of 1 from three. This is a team that has four really good three-point shooters. And Robert Johnson, he's shooting 36%. Aljami Durham is at 35%, Josh Newkirk 39%, and Devontae Green, we just saw him miss the only three they've taken so far at 36%. This is a team that shoots 33% overall from the three-point line, but they've only taken one, and we just saw it a minute ago.
Good point. That may be why Beeline doesn't want to go with the double teams in the post, Obviously, you double team, there's going to be somebody open. I don't know it. I don't trust these Indiana big men to make those kinds of plays, though, to pass out. But we'll see how Indiana adjusts here. But I don't know if Michigan's defense really can stop them inside, though. If they're just going to keep looking into the paint, get those post-up touches, or if they're going to maybe try to go towards the three-point line to get something going.
Well, I would imagine, and I am correct on this, John Teskey is going to come in from the Wolverines. They have Jordan Poole, John Teskey, Duncan Robinson, Eli Brooks, and Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman for the Wolverines. Indiana comes out with Johnson, Green, McRoberts, Hartman, and Johnson. Johnson now has it left corner. He gets it out to Green. Green left wing, rolls to top of the key, gets it to Johnson, goes inside. They want it to go inside to Davis. John Teskey tipped the rebound there. They're going to get it back out. They're down 5 seconds on the clock. Down to 3 seconds, down to 2 seconds, down to 1, down to 0, and they tried to put the dunk up. He was going to do it right after John Teskey jumped. It didn't matter because the buzzer went off with 5:10 to go.
Yeah, interesting Indiana's counter there with Teskey coming in the game. They tried to put him into a pick and roll, something a little bit more difficult for big, not as mobile big men. He was still able to recover there, didn't even allow Indiana to get up a shot.
Eli Brooks has it. He's going to get a screen from Teskey, and they're going to call a foul on Indiana. That's going to be on Hartman. That's going to be Indiana's 4th foul. And each team now has 4 fouls. Eli Brooks is going to send it in right under the basket. Gets it to Abdul-Rahman in the corner, had the three, didn't take it, and said he's going to roll to the right, keep rolling to the right top of the key. Gets it to Brooks, inside to Robinson. Back to Brooks, right wing. Down to 9 on the clock, gets a screen to the left from Teskey. Now he's going to roll to the left. He's going to go inside to Teskey, puts it up, puts it in. Oh, they could have called a foul on Hartman. That could have been an N1. They didn't call it. It's 31-16.
Interesting how well Brooks has been playing so far today. You know, Simpson got in there, had a few minutes, didn't really do a whole lot. You know, so far Brooks has really been impressing, you know, scoring and passing the ball.
Hartman's got it, top of the key. He gets it over to McRoberts. McRoberts, like we said, doesn't really play that much, but he's in today. Hands it off to Johnson. Johnson at the free throw line, left wing to Green. Green gets it to McRoberts, back to Johnson. 3 on the clock, 2 on the clock. Johnson has to throw it up the free throw line, and it is good. 31-18.
Yeah, good defensive possession there by the Wolverines. You know, kind of a tough shot there. Happens to go, but you know, you can't be sad about that.
Robinson gets it to Brooks, top of the key, over to Jordan Poole. Poole tried to get into Teskey, but Davis has him covered. Abdul-Rahman right wing. Gets it to Teskey. Teskey looking to hand it off to Brooks. He doesn't. Gets it to Abdul-Rahman with 7 in the clock. He's going to take a fade away from the corner. Long 2, no good. Rebound goes to Hartman. Gets it to Green. Green works against Brooks. They're down to 3.5 to go in the first half. And it looked like Green lost the ball. Robinson grabbed it, but they're going to call a foul on Robinson. And with 3:30 to go in the first half, we'll have our final TV timeout. 31-18, Michigan on top of Indiana.
Yeah, definitely a chess match going on here so far between Miller and Beeline. You know, Indiana just keeps working it inside the paint, going with the post-ups. Beeline brings out Teskey. So far, Indiana has not tried to test him. They're putting him through the pick and rolls, trying to see if they can get him moving side to side, kind of testing his lateral movement. You know, something that most big men really struggle with. So far, Teskey's really stepping up to the challenge. He's not let Davis score on him. You know, obviously Davis is a little bit smaller, a little bit more mobile, and really just a big, solid guy. He's not really able to bully Teskey down low. Obviously, Teskey's big, he's tall, but he's really, you know, kind of gangly. It's really crazy that he's able to stand up tall, you know, really, you know, take hits when Davis is putting his shoulder into him, standing tall and not really getting pushed around down there.
And it's interesting, it's a completely different game with Teskey in for that 2-minute stretch right there. They didn't go inside at all. They didn't even try. But when Wagner's out there, it's almost every possession, let's go in the paint and fight him. If you're a Wolverine fan, I mean, you've got to be concerned with Wagner, who's clearly the better option on the offensive side, but on defense, he's a weakness.
Yeah, it's definitely a calculus you got to play, you know. What's better, the offense or the defense? So far, Mo has had a spectacular game on the offensive side. You know, not just scoring the ball, he's been a facilitator as well. You know, it's so hard when you're that big of a liability on the defensive end. I really do think, though, Mo is a guy that could play the 4 just as well as the 5. You know, he stretches the floor, he shoots the 3, can really do it all on the offensive end. I really would like to see those two paired together, you know, see how that lineup would work.
Yeah, I think the big issue with that would be what happens when they both come off. What happens if they both need to come off? Who comes in as the big man? Is Duncan Robinson the guy? Is Livers the guy?
They do not have anyone else.
Hibbets? I mean, do they want to go to Hibbets? Are they that desperate?
Hibbets could play. I mean, I don't imagine him getting significant minutes here.
No.
Or, you know, anytime during the Big Ten schedule. That is a good point. They really do need to stagger them. They can't.
There needs to be one at all times and only one.
Yeah, there must be one in the game at all times. And I still do think that there could be, you know, every once in a while, Beeline could maybe throw him in there for 3 or 4 minutes just to see what would happen. Obviously, Michigan doesn't have the depth in the front court to make that work all the time, but it's really an interesting pairing, a real twin tower situation that you don't see very often in basketball, you know, let alone college basketball. And those two guys really complement each other so well.
Yes.
I think that would be a really dynamic lineup.
And you would hope Teskey, if he can play offense, obviously he's not going to stretch the floor, he's not going to shoot threes like Wagner, but if he can come in and be a danger inside the paint, I mean, you got to imagine he might start for this team at some point this season.
I can't see him taking that starting spot.
Sure.
I don't know, but he is. You're very right. You know, he's not going to do the same things Mo does on the offensive end, but he is working so hard today. We haven't really highlighted that. He is working for position on the offensive end constantly. You know, banging bodies down low, always calling for the ball, setting good screens. You know, he's really been a plus on that end.
We're underway, 3.5 to go. First half, Michigan 31, Indiana 18. They're going to go inside. Davis just ran right inside, puts up the layup, puts it in, 31-20. There we go. Eli Brooks finds Duncan Robinson, right wing, top of the key. Teskey gets it out to back to Poole. Poole goes to Duncan Robinson, wide open in the corner three. No good, in and out. The rebound's going to go to Johnson.
Yeah, that three doesn't go, but came within the offense. You know, Michigan's motion offense has just been working so well today. Indiana just cannot figure it out.
They go inside to Morgan, who works against Duncan Robinson. Duncan Robinson has struggled on defense before. He's not letting them back him down, though. Instead, he'll put it right over him. No good. Rebound goes to Poole. Really good defense there by Duncan Robinson.
One of the stories of this game so far is how great Duncan has been on the defensive end.
Duncan goes inside, puts it up at the free throw line, up and no good. Right when we compliment him, he misses another shot. Rebound goes to Green, and he's going to slow down and reset.
Yeah, maybe his shot's not falling quite so, you know, as well as we expect. But, you know, he's playing great overall.
Johnson puts up a shot at the free throw line. This time it doesn't go in. It's short. Now he's going to find, it looks like that's Eli Brooks in the corner. He'll find Jordan Poole in the other corner. Poole works against Johnson. He's going to slow it down, kick it out to Robinson. Back to Brooks, back to Abdul-Rahman on the left wing. Top of the key to Poole, over to right wing to Duncan Robinson for three. No good. He's missed 3 shots in the last 3 possessions.
Yeah, that'll put him at 1 of 5 from the floor overall, 1 of 4 from 3. You know, Duncan, I'd like to see him fire away. I don't care if his shot's falling or not. They're going to fall eventually.
Morgan has in the corner, gets it to Johnson. They're down to 10 on the clock. Once again, don't listen to the fans because they're trying to trick him. Goes to Davis. Davis is going to go inside against Teskey. Teskey goes up and down, but they're going to call a foul on him anyway. The shot didn't fall, but Indiana will shoot 2 free throws. They're only down 11. This could easily be a ball game. They can come back in this 133.
Yeah, definitely. It's been really, Indiana's been able to claw their way back into this game because Michigan just cannot buy a basket. It's been 2 minutes and 47 seconds here now since Michigan has scored. You know, obviously a lot of that has to do with Mo Wagner coming out of the game. You know, he's really the guy they've been running their offense through when he's on the floor. But without Mo on the floor, they're really just struggling to find a basket.
Livers and Wagner are going to come in for Robinson and Teskey, and the 2 free throws. The first free throw is no good. The second free throw is, and it's a 10-point Michigan lead.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Something to look for, though, is Matthews has not played very much this game. He's only played a couple minutes.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Only shot the ball 1 time when he was out on the floor. He made it. He's got 2 points, but he's been the leading scorer for the Michigan Wolverines with 16 points per game. Wonder what the deal is there.
Wagner gets it right wing. He's going to be fouled by Morgan after Wagner tried to go inside. And with 1:25 to go, that'll be a foul on Indiana, their 5th. Indiana is in the bonus right now. Michigan, their next foul would be 7.
And I think a big reason why Matthews hasn't been getting a lot of minutes, obviously, is Poole has been playing so well and really is hot from the 3-point line. Beeline's just kind of riding him. But, you know, it's really odd to see Matthews just not get any minutes at all.
It's very interesting. We'll see if that changes in the second half because you're right, Matthews is their best player, supposedly, and he hasn't been seen at all. Abdul-Rahman tried to get it to Poole, and McRoberts wouldn't let him. Instead, it's Livers right wing, gets it top of the key. Wagner, now Poole has it in the left wing. Down to 6 on the clock. Abdul-Rahman rolls to the right corner. Gets it out to Poole, no good. He thought he drew the foul. He got McRoberts in the air. He didn't. And with under a minute to go, Indiana only down 10.
Yeah, Poole tried to do the classic pump fake and lean into a guy who's just flying by, but, you know, McRoberts did a great job of, you know, staying clear, not getting that foul.
And once again, Indiana goes inside. They actually get the offensive rebound. Smith did, but it's going to be stripped by Brooks. Now in the corner, Abdul-Rahman 3. Good.
Again, Brooks continues to just have an excellent first half, pushing the pace there, really manufacturing that bucket, going inside, drawing in the defense, and kicking it out for the easy 3.
34-21, Michigan on top. There's 6 seconds between the game and shot clock. And Indiana plans to let all that time go down. They're down 10, 9, 8, 7. Now they're finally going to get a screen. Durham's going to go inside. Right wing to Johnson, down to 3, to 2, to 1. He loses the ball. They grab it. They're gonna say it went out of bounds with 6.3 left. With 1 on the clock, it won't matter because it will be Michigan ball. And Michigan might as well take a timeout here. It's use it or lose it. And I guess they would rather lose it than use it. There you go. And it looks like Livers is going to come out for Duncan Robinson. Michigan has Brooks, Wagner, Abdul-Rahman, Poole, and Duncan Robinson in. Indiana counters with Durham, Smith, Johnson, McRoberts, McSwain Jr. And with 6.3, Michigan will try to get something cross court. They get it to Abdul-Rahman, down to 5. Down to 4, gets a screen from Wagner. He'll go. Robinson, corner 3. He was hit. No good. No foul. And that's how the game ends. The half ends, excuse me. Not the game at all. And we have hit halftime. Michigan 34, Indiana 21. Nate, any final thoughts before we send it to the halftime?
You know, so far so good for this Michigan team. You know, kind of right there during the middle of the half, you know, they kind of sputtered a little bit, you know, let Indiana come back, but they ended the half very well on the defensive end. In the final 3.5 minutes there, Indiana did not get a basket. Even with Mo Wagner there on the floor, you know, they really stepped up there, were able to, you know, give Michigan a comfortable 13-point lead going into the half. And, you know, they're looking like they're in very good shape to win this game at the half.
Nate, we did real well, and that was a lot of fun, but we're going to send it to the halftime show. That is nothing. Yeah, I just feel like we just started. It's not going to matter because we're going to go to the halftime show, and after the halftime show, which is nothing, Jeremy Parks and Evan Oysterly are going to take over. They're very excited. They're itching to get in right now. They're very jealous that we've done the first half. And some guy just made a half-court shot at the buzzer to win something through Delta, so that could be a free flight or something. That's pretty nice.
And you said there was no halftime show.
And I said there was no halftime show. It was really cool at the buzzer. That was really fun. And that's how we're going to end it. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll be back in the second half. Jeremy Parks, Evan Oysterly will take over. Michigan 34, Indiana 21. We'll see you in about 10 minutes.
Go Blue.
Welcome back inside the Chrysler Center on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan men's basketball. I'm Jeremy Parks alongside Evan Osterley. Just a couple minutes here from tip-off in the second half. Michigan leads 34-21 after 20 minutes. Evan, your thoughts on the first half? Michigan shooting relatively well from outside, working the ball inside on the later portions of the half. How do they keep it up here in the second?
I think the key is they've been so solid on the defensive end, forcing turnovers. Indiana only attempted 1 3-point shot in the first half. And then on the other end, Michigan just 6 of 17 from behind the arc, but the threes were well timed and they came in bunches, supporting the rest of what this offense was doing. The one place that Indiana did have success was dropping the ball down low into the post. Michigan is going to need to get stronger down low. Mo Wagner and Isaiah Livers both got bullied on a few consecutive possessions by Morgan, and so Indiana's definitely going to look to get him the ball a lot more in this second half.
Jordan Poole leading the way for Michigan with 11 points, 4 of 8 from the field in the first half, 3 of 7 from 3. How about the young freshman from Milwaukee, Evan?
He's been phenomenal. He's been the spark for Michigan in this game. Probably the difference right now between a single-digit game and a 13-point lead for Michigan, which is what we have. He's a very talented young freshman, but it's difficult to learn this John Beilein offense. You rarely see young players excel except based on athleticism alone. But Jordan Poole knocking down jump shots, making smart plays on defense. Also been really, really impressed so far today by Eli Brooks at the point, making plays at both ends of the floor.
And for Indiana, Juwan Morgan, 12 points in the first half, 6 of 9 from the field. Really the only major scoring threat for the Hoosiers. Evan, how did the Wolverines shut Juwan Morgan down here in the second?
I think they need to just start double teaming in the post. I mean, he's been Indiana's only consistent offensive force. Make them beat you with something else. Don't let them go to their bread and butter. A few times, Mo Wagner just stood and watched Isaiah Livers get back down. He needs to go and help. You got a freshman defending Indiana's best player. Why just sit back and watch? Go help if you're Mo Wagner.
Starting 5 for Indiana coming out to the floor. Durham, Newkirk, Johnson, alongside Davis and Morgan. Indiana will have the ball to start the second half. Again, it's Michigan 34, Indiana 21 with a fresh 20 on the clock. Ball is bounced over to Robert Johnson, who inbounds, and we are underway in the second. Coming up the floor, Josh Newkirk. Handed off around the key, working their way around the perimeter. Rockmon guarding right now on Newkirk. They hand it down in to Morgan. Dipping around inside, he's going to draw the foul, gets the ball up. It wouldn't have been good, but it misses anyways off the rim. First foul of the half will go against Duncan Robinson.
And Duncan Robinson against Juwan Morgan is not a good matchup. That's going to be a problem really fast.
And so Morgan will now shoot 2 from the line. Again with 12 already in the game. He sinks the first one.
Michigan has to find a new way to defend Juwan Morgan. This is not going to work, and Indiana's going to cut into this lead.
The second from the stripe, bounces in and out, no good. He gets 1 of 2. It's 34-22 Michigan with 19:42 remaining in the game. As Michigan now pushing up the floor, moving the ball around with Brooks. Brooks inside to Mo Wagner with a great move down the lane, up and in. 2 points for Michigan off a fantastic move up the gut from Mo Wagner.
Incredible passing so far today from the Michigan Wolverines.
Newkirk hands it off to Morgan at the point, who goes back around. Now over to Morgan from 3. He dips back inside. Cuts around the corner, goes back to Durham. Durham takes a shot from inside the arc, no good. Rebound gathered by Davis. Davis goes back up with it with the right hand. Also bounces out, no good, and a foul against Davis on the board. And it will be Michigan ball after a missed shot, a missed putback, and Michigan draws the foul. That is the first foul on Davis on the afternoon.
Indiana 5 offensive rebounds so far, something to watch going forward.
As Brooks hands it off to Charles Matthews on the left wing. Goes back to Rockmon at the point. Rockmon moving around to the right wing, hands it back to Robinson. Robinson to Matthews, Matthews to Brooks. Inside to Matthews on a great cut, up off the glass with a little kiss and in.
Again, an excellent cut and an even better pass. Michigan really working this Indiana defense right now and doing a lot of things that they like.
38-22 Michigan with 18:33 to play in the second.
Juwan Morgan has it down in the right post. He's double teamed by Michigan, and they call the foul. They're going to get Duncan Robinson on the reach. Robinson not happy with the call as they go over to the scorer's table, and that will be his third.
And a good double team by Brooks and Robinson. Like I said, got to find a way to stop Juwan Morgan and make somebody else beat you if you're Michigan. But questionable foul call right there from the refs.
And with 3 fouls, John Beeline will pull Duncan Robinson out and send Isaiah Livers in as Indiana inbounds the ball. Back underneath with Davis. Davis goes up on a nice move but misses. Got around Mo Wagner but no good. Michigan gathers and heads down the floor. Brooks is working his way around the point. Over to Matthews, to Livers on the right wing in the corner. Mo Wagner being harassed down on the baseline, and he draws a foul against Davis.
Davis' second foul.
2 quick ones to start the second half for Davis and the Hoosiers. It's just the second team foul of the half with 18:10 remaining, 38-22 in favor of the Wolverines. And another foul, it looks like, off the inbound before they could even get the pass off.
Could be in the bonus pretty quickly in the second half. That's already 2 fouls on Michigan, 3 on Indiana.
It's going to go against Robert Johnson.
Johnson second as well.
And so now checking in will be Green for the Hoosiers. Off the quick inbound to Livers, who took a 3 from the left corner, unable to go, as Indiana collects the rebound and comes up the floor with Durham now. Durham hands off to Green. Green shovels it inside. Good for Colin Hartman. Just a nice inside move down the lane for the Hoosiers, and they get 2. It's a 14-point game.
Mo Wagner always seems to be a step late on the defensive end. That's been a big struggle for him.
Brooks inside to Matthews. Matthews back to Livers for 3. In and out off the back iron.
Livers a good but not great shooter. Back-to-back misses on relatively open three-point jumpers.
Both teams taking quick possessions here to start the second half, as it's with Colin Hartman over on the left wing as he dumps it inside to Morgan. Working his way around, goes back to Newkirk on the far side, over to Hartman. Hartman for 3, in and out as well. A couple bodies fall to the floor. Pair of 13s, Mo Wagner and Morgan. Michigan will come up court, slow it down with Charles Matthews as he dumps it off to Brooks. Now Mo Wagner has it just on the right side from 3. Back to Mo from the point for 3. This time in and out again. Michigan cold from beyond the arc to start the second half.
3 misses in a row, and it looks like Eli Brooks has been told to double Juwan Morgan every time he touches the basketball.
Now Indiana shoveling around again. Jumping inside is Newkirk. He used his speed to get around the much larger Isaiah Livers. Got it up and in. Good. 12-point game, 38-26 in favor of Michigan, 16:42 to play.
Indiana's guards excellent the other night against Duke. Not a great first half for any of them. We'll see Newkirk's an excellent player if he can get something going for the Hoosiers.
Charles Matthews has the ball for Michigan. Works around to Livers. Livers tried to go inside to Mo Wagner. Mo is trying to claim that Indiana touched it on the way out of bounds, but that pass just sailed over his head. Out, it'll be Indiana ball.
Yeah, I don't think anybody on Indiana touched that.
Josh Newkirk comes up the floor and gives it to Colin Hartman. Hoosiers again driving inside, trying to beat the Wolverines with the hard points, and they go inside again, and they get it. Devontae Green from just inside the free throw line. Good for 2, and it's now a 10-point game.
Juwan Morgan, excellent job right there, sealing off Mo Wagner and making that an easy look for Green.
Mo Wagner unable to handle the pass from Livers as he bobbles it around and then falls out of bounds trying to save it. Out of bounds again, another turnover for the Wolverines. Indiana ball with 15:55 to play. It's a 10-point lead now for Michigan, 38-28. And sloppy play the last couple of possessions down the floor for Michigan, Evan.
Michigan missing threes and then back-to-back turnovers. Something needs to change in this offense right now. Got to settle down. Maybe put Jordan Poole back early in the game when Charles Matthews was in foul trouble, but Indiana's doing an excellent job of now using Juwan Morgan as a decoy on the offensive end. He's drawing double teams. He's drawing attention from Eli Brooks. And on that last play, just sealing Mo Wagner out of the lane and allowing an easy floater from Green.
Well, we'll see what John Beeline comes up with out of the timeout here. as well as Archie Miller, who seems to have made some decent adjustments to start the second half here for the Hoosiers. They're cutting slowly into this Michigan lead, just barely hanging on to double digits now, up by 10.
Absolutely, and Michigan in the first half, 6 of 17 from behind the arc. They made 6 threes, but didn't shoot a great percentage. Most of their better shots came down low on easier layups, created by spreading out the floor. It looks like Archie Miller is saying, let them shoot threes. They're not making their shots. Let them shoot threes. Don't give them the easy baskets, and that's worked well so far in the second half.
Indiana, as a team tonight, just 0 of 2 from 3. They've really tried to get the ball inside on the Wolverines. And as you said, they've been doing so in the second half to much better effect. So Michigan going to try and force that ball outside a little bit more, put some heavier pressure on the perimeter. And again, Mo Wagner, important to stay out of foul trouble for Michigan as the main interior defender. Really the only guy so far tonight who's proven that he has any ability to guard Juwan Morgan for the Hoosiers.
Yeah, John Teskey played 7 minutes in that first half, but it didn't match up almost at all with Juwan Morgan's minutes. We'll see if Beeline turns to Teskey, who, as a legit 7-footer, has the size at least to go up and block shots, but Juwan Morgan just been so strong down low. Michigan has not had an answer as of yet. 13 points, 6 of 9 from the field, 5 rebounds as well.
Again, the national TV broadcast, we've got good long timeouts here between action at Chrysler Arena. Filled in relatively nicely. It was pretty empty towards the start of game time. I'd say roughly, 3/4 full here for a Saturday afternoon game.
Full student section.
Yep.
Yeah, 20 minutes before the game, this place was empty.
The opening game of Big Ten Conference play for both teams this season. Again, that Big Ten tournament getting shifted around to New York City. The epicenter geographically of the Big Ten. Yes, Evan?
Absolutely. No better place in Big Ten country.
Beautiful decision by Jim Delaney. Means we get conference play much earlier here. Michigan has Indiana, and then they go on a pretty tough slate of games throughout the next couple of days. Going to face UCLA and Texas and Ohio State. All good challenges for a 6-2 Wolverines squad. Currently holding on to a nice lead against Indiana, who played a darn good game at home at Memorial against the Duke Blue Devils earlier this week.
Love seeing teams play tough games in November and December. It makes them better in March.
Back underway here. Hoosiers trying to work the ball inside to Morgan. Morgan's going to kick it back out over to Green. Green over to Newkirk from 3, and he drains it. Evan, you said push him outside. They went for it. They hit the 3, and now it's a 7-point game.
Yeah, excellent passing right there by Indiana, finding the open man. If Michigan is going to double team, somebody's always going to be open.
Duncan Robinson back in the game for Michigan. He's got the ball on the right wing. He gives it to Charles Matthews. Matthews up to the point over on the left to Robinson. He pump fakes, drives in, draws the foul on the way. It'll go against Colin Hartman. It'll be his second on the afternoon. Not a shooting foul. Michigan will have the inbounds. 38-21 Michigan, 15-15 to play. Brooks inbounds right underneath to Matthews, who tried to go up, and they're going to call the foul on the floor. And again, against Colin Hartman, it was a delayed whistle. Matthews got the inbound in the lane, tried to go right up with it. Got blocked, but they're going to call Hartman for the foul. And no, now they're going to remove it, call it a shooting foul against Hartman. They were pointing to the floor.
I know. I was going to say, there's no. How is that a foul if it's not a shooting foul? He
went straight up. Yeah. The moment he had the ball was he went up.
The motion was straight up. So
Charles Matthews from the charity stripe misses the first.
He's struggled from the line so far this year. Excellent player, the transfer from Kentucky, redshirt sophomore, but he has struggled from the free throw line.
And the second is good. He hits 1 of 2. It's 39-31 Michigan. As Josh Newkirk brings the ball up the floor. Gives it to Colin Hartman at the point, working around the right wing. Green gives it off to Durham. Back to Newkirk, and now Hartman has it again. Michigan not giving Indiana much to look at inside. As Indiana now goes back down to Juwan Morgan, and he's going to draw the foul against John Teskey down low.
All of a sudden, a 2-possession game, and Indiana's passing display has just been excellent now. We're just under the 15-minute mark in the second half. A lot of time. Michigan's going to need to change something defensively. Otherwise, this game could flip in Indiana's favor.
Shooting foul against Teskey, his second of the afternoon, as it sends Juwan Morgan to the line, and he hits it. And now it's a 5-point game, 39-34 Michigan. Slowly watching their lead slip away here in the second half.
12-1, one run for the Hoosiers.
Now whistles blowing on the floor. Indiana had a towel still out on the floor trying to get their substitutions right. Looks like they're trying to make a switch, and we'll see if they allow it before play starts again. They're trying to switch in Robert Johnson for Josh Newkirk, and they do allow the substitution as Archie Miller checks in with the referee at the scorer's table. So Johnson in the game now as Michigan gets the inbounds with Brooks. Brooks carries it across center court in the M. Hands it off on the right wing to Robinson and back to the point with Brooks. Turns around, kicks back to Robinson at the point, good for three. Duncan Robinson has been a little cold tonight from distance, but he adds three onto Michigan's tally, 42-34.
The three-point specialist providing a spark for the Wolverines, lead back to 8.
Indiana goes deep down inside, missing on the give with Smith as Michigan collects the board, and Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman comes up the floor. Gives it to Matthews, who goes to Teskey down at the post. Teskey trying for the wraparound, he got it! Up over the top, a nice move for the big man, two more, and now Michigan back up by 10. Indiana really quick though with an opportunity down the floor for three, and that is missed by Green. No good, Michigan with the ball again. Quick action here.
Basketball is a game of runs. Indiana went on a 12-1 run. Now Michigan rebuilding their lead, 5-0 with the ball.
Rahman slowed it down. As the ball is now with Brooks on the left wing. It's batted and knocked out of bounds. It'll be off of Durham and the Hoosiers. Michigan ball with 10 left on the shot clock. 13:43 left in the game, 44-34 in favor of the Wolverines.
So interesting that Eli Brooks has won the trust of John Beilein so early in the season. Not many people had him in the point guard battle between Xavier Simpson and Jerron Simmons, the grad transfer from Ohio, but he's been excellent so far today and should be a great player for a long time.
Mo Wagner has checked in for Teskey as he hands off to Brooks for three from the left corner. He got it. Nothing but net on the splashdown for Brooks. 47-34, maize and blue, 13:28 to play. As Juwan Morgan has it down in the post for Indiana quickly, but kicks it back out to Durham on the right wing. Back to Morgan for three. In and out, no good. Rebound gathered by Robinson. Indiana struggling as Michigan's adding on quickly here. Rahman on the right wing. Back to Robinson again for three. No good. Just a bit to the left off the side iron. As Indiana will collect and call timeout up the court with exactly 13 minutes to play. Michigan on a little spurt here, 47-34. You're listening to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan men's basketball.
A tough contested three on that last possession for Duncan Robinson, but the difference in the last 2 minutes for Michigan as they've gone on this 8-0 run has been on defense. Better energy. They don't have open guys. They're not leaving people open for Indiana. Yes, they are double teaming Juwan Morgan, but the rotations have been significantly better when those double teams come. And then offensively, like I said, Eli Brooks just moving the ball around by dribble, by shot, by pass. He's doing it all at point guard, and you can see why John Beilein trusts him as the starting point guard with the way he's playing. He doesn't look like a freshman out there.
Well, as you said, again, it was a 5-point game, and then Michigan on a 8-0 run over the last minute and 40 seconds has regained a commanding lead, now up by 13, 47-34. And again, it's really shutting down Juwan Morgan of Indiana, and that's been the key for Michigan on these runs, is when Morgan is able to get some space inside. They've pushed him so far as to even taking looks from three, which is really not his forte. So over the last couple minutes, Michigan has changed the pace of the game, Evan, and that's why they find themselves back in front comfortably.
It's been a quick pace second half. I don't think that's going to change. Michigan's going to keep pushing it, but Indiana needs to slow it down offensively. Their offense has success when Juwan Morgan can sit down in the low post and create for himself or for his teammates. They're trying to play at this fast pace. They're not a good shooting team, 1 of 5 from behind the arc, so I don't understand when they run up the court and take a three-pointer. They don't have many guys who can knock those down with consistency.
A lot of energy here in Chrysler Center, as Michigan basketball fans have been looking for a game like this for a while now. Michigan kind of stumbling their way through the first 8 games this season at 6-2. Didn't look fantastic in the Maui games. Played a strong game against North Carolina, I think better than the final scoreline indicated, as Michigan lost by 15 in the end. But again, this is a good young Michigan basketball team that I think stands to make a little bit of a run here in Big Ten play. Really the only major foes in front of them that are very apparent at this point, I would say, having Minnesota and Michigan State clearly at the top. But absolutely, Michigan right in the pack there, I think in the middle with everyone else behind those two. Yeah,
you look at the Big Ten and Minnesota and Michigan State, clearly the 2 best teams, leaps and bounds better in the talent department and the experience department, especially with Michigan State getting Miles Bridges back. But then you look at Northwestern, excellent hire in Billy Donlin from this Michigan coaching staff. Their defense is going to be a force, and you've got a couple other teams, Wisconsin always in the mix, Iowa always in the mix. It should be a fun Big Ten season with everybody so close in terms of competitive level.
Zach McRoberts in the game now for Indiana, inbounds the ball as they get it back to him over on the left wing, and he tried to work it inside from Morgan. It was poked away by Muhammad Ali Abdur Rahman. Ball out of bounds. Indiana's going to keep it with 18 seconds left on the clock. And it'll be inbounded by Newkirk. Ball is back with Morgan. Morgan working on Mo Wagner inside. Wagner poked the ball away, but regained by Morgan as he went inside for the shot. Goes up and draws the foul against Mo. It was regathered after the initial poke away from Wagner, and then stepped back for just a moment. Morgan regathered and did a good job of getting inside behind Wagner and forcing the foul. The fans here at Chrysler didn't see a lot in that, as the first one from the line for Morgan is good.
Only Wagner's 2nd foul on the day, so not in foul trouble yet, but with the amount of shots that Morgan's putting up, that could change over the next couple minutes.
2nd from the line is good as well, and now Juwan Morgan owns exactly half of Indiana's points. He's got 18 of their 36. It's 47-36 Michigan, 12:42 to play on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball. Bringing it up the floor is Xavier Simpson now. Simpson hands it off to Rahman. Rahman goes to Duncan Robinson on the right wing, back to Jordan Poole, who's been hot tonight. Going back to Xavier Simpson. Simpson over to Robinson in the corner for 3, in and out. Ball bouncing away on the rebound, finally picked up by Robert Johnson of Indiana. Down by 11, Hoosiers have another possession. Trying to go down low for Colin Hartman as there's a foul after the play, and then a little bit of pushing and shoving as well, as Michigan's going to calm themselves down on that lower right corner.
Game's getting a little chippy down low. Mo Wagner, we know he plays with the flair, but he's got to control himself in what's becoming a close game down the stretch.
And now Duncan Robinson checks out of the game. Isaiah Livers in, as Indiana's got it with Newkirk at the point off the inbounds. Working the ball around the left side, back to Johnson. Down deep inside to McSwain. McSwain going up on Wagner, swats it away, and Michigan recollects. They come up the floor with a few guys in their advantage. They kick it over to the left side for Poole. No good from 3. However, they get the offensive board, but it's blocked away. Livers tried to get it back to the point to Simpson. Taken away by Indiana, and they've got an opportunity down the floor for 3. It's no good, off the hands of Josh Newkirk. Quick action at Chrysler as Michigan again comes up the floor, and now they'll slow it down with Xavier Simpson.
Indiana still taking these long-range shots instead of setting into their offense.
And now Jordan Poole driving inside for Michigan between 2 guys, up and good through contact. Finish for the young man who's had himself a game for Michigan. 13 points now on the night for Poole. As Indiana comes back down the floor, gets a quick opportunity with Robert Johnson from about 15 out, and he drains it for 2, trading 2 for 2. As it's now 49-38 with 11:03 to play.
Which guard for Indiana is going to step up down the stretch? That's going to be the key for them, because you can't go to Juwan Morgan every single time. Nobody on their team besides Juwan Morgan has more than 5 points right now.
Michigan working around the perimeter as they always do. Back to Livers on the left wing, who goes down into Wagner, down by the low block. And then it goes back to Poole, who has to take a three, and he hit it! He had 3 seconds left on the clock, and he released from a little bit further than normal, but knocked it down, and boy, Jordan Poole having himself a night. 4 for 9 from 3. He's got 16 points in tow. Michigan leads 52-38 as Indiana calls timeout with 10:35 to play on WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan basketball.
What a move on that last one. A little shake and bake from Jordan Poole. Knocks down the big three with the shot clock winding down. He has been excellent so far today. 16 points, 6 of 11 from the field, 4 of 9 from behind the arc. Also grabbed 2 rebounds. And again, I said it at halftime, I'll say it again. He is the difference between this being a single-digit game and the 14-point lead that Michigan has.
Really, you eliminate Poole on Michigan's side and you eliminate Morgan on Indiana's side, and you've got a very different-looking game. It's been 2 large personalities for each side. Michigan, however, up by 14.
Might be like 20-20 if you take those 2 players out. They have most of the points so far today. I mean, Indiana, rest of their team, 20 points, Morgan 18. He's almost outscoring his teammates. He needs help from the guards. He needs help from Newkirk and Robert Johnson. They need to create and make big shots down the stretch.
Looking at the stat lines for both sides so far tonight, I think, again, Michigan from 3 has really been a major difference maker as well. They're only shooting 35% from 3, 9 of 26, but Indiana just 1 of 5 from 3 has really been a major difference maker in the way this game has been played for either side.
Michigan re-extending this lead to 14. It's going to be crucial for Indiana to have this game in single digits before the under 8 timeout. Otherwise, they're going to have a hard time. Michigan does at times slow the game down, use a lot of the clock on the offensive possession. They can hit late shots because they have so many shooters on the floor.
Again, this broadcast brought to you in part by Underground Printing, our official outfitters at WCBN Sports. Always happy to partner with the good folks at Underground. 52-38 Wolverines over the Hoosiers with 10:35 to play here at Chrysler. Michigan looking to advance to 7-2 on the season and start at 1-0 in conference play. Indiana's trying to avoid going 500. They're just 4-3 coming into Chrysler today.
Indiana has played a tough schedule. A bad loss to Indiana State, though. But this Indiana team has potential. We know how good of a coach Archie Miller is. For Michigan, though, if they can close out this win today and then get a win in Columbus on Monday night, a 2-0 start going to conference play would be huge.
Trying to build the confidence here with a young team, and again, if you're looking at confidence building, I think you have to look no further than Jordan Poole tonight, a young freshman who has looked fearless out on the floor against Indiana, who is never an easy opponent.
No.
And has really risen to the occasion for the Maize and Blue as the main difference maker so far tonight.
Absolutely.
As the buzzer finally sounds from our national TV timeout. 14-point game. Wolverines looking to keep it going here, as it has been all Michigan the last couple of minutes here in the second half. Indiana had something going to open the half, but they have cooled down significantly. They inbounds the ball over to Josh Newkirk, who goes to Robert Johnson on the left wing. They go back to Juwan Morgan at the point. And then an attempted pass over to Green is poked out of bounds by Jordan Poole. It'll be Indiana ball with 13 seconds left on the shot clock. And it will be Robert Johnson to inbound to Newkirk, as he will reset himself. Pick set by Davis, and then driving back under the basket was Newkirk. He tried to get a pass back out behind the line, as it bounces off of a Michigan leg and out of bounds. Indiana ball again under the basket with 5 seconds left on the shot clock.
Indiana's offense is at their best when they're moving the ball around. When they put their heads down and drive and don't look for open guys on the outside, that's when they have a hard time creating against this defense.
They're going to shift it from under the basket to right in the corner, actually, right in front of the Indiana benches. They go to Davis. 3 seconds left on the shot clock. He goes up with the right hand. It's good. Nice work there by Davis on Mo Wagner for 2. And it's a 12-point game, 52-40 Michigan. Exactly 10 minutes to play. as Mo Wagner has it at the point. He goes to Xavier Simpson, back to Wagner, who goes up inside. A lot of contact, but he just got a pass off to the left wing. Back over to Xavier Simpson, who now drives inside himself, draws the foul, and falls to the floor.
Good passing by the Wolverines, finding open guys, but Indiana rotating and stopping drives every single time there. Good defensive possession from them.
And the foul is going to go against Deron Davis of Indiana. It'll be his third of the night, and that will send Xavier Simpson to the line to shoot 2 for Michigan. Simpson has no points so far on the night. 0 of 2 from the floor. He misses the first free throw. Michigan not great at the line so far, as Charles Matthews checks into the game for Isaiah Livers. And after missing the first, Simpson will get ready to take the second from the stripe. As that one rolls out, he missed them both. It's 52-40 Michigan. As Indiana comes down the floor, they get it down inside to Davis by the low block. A nice pass across to Green, up and in. It's a 10-point game. Nice cross-floor pass from left to right, as Indiana cuts it back to just a hair into double-digit territory.
Michigan just 1 of 4 from the line today. Not great for the Wolverines.
9:23 remaining in the game. As driving inside is Poole. He loses the ball out of bounds on the pressure from Morgan, and it'll be Indiana ball. It's another turnover for the Wolverines.
Frustrating offensive sequences for Michigan right now. Missed free throws and turnover. Indiana can cut this back down to single digits.
Indeed they can, as they've got it with Green. Top of the key, he goes over to Robert Johnson, back to Green. Green working around on Charles Matthews, goes back to Robert Johnson again, and then back to Green. Over to Josh Newkirk on the right wing. Pass is intercepted by Xavier Simpson, but it bounces away and finds the hands of Deron Davis. And now Newkirk takes a 3, and he misses as it goes off the front iron, collected by Mo Wagner, and Michigan's up the floor. Abdur Rahman's got it in the right corner. He's working around inside, spins around, goes up, got it on the putback. Mo Wagner missed the initial shot from Rahman, but Wagner comes in to save the day. It's 2 points for Michigan, back to a 12-point game. 8:30 to play. Indiana working inside, looking for Deron Davis. It's intercepted. Mo Wagner poked it away. It was gathered by Simpson, going for the alley-oop, and they missed. Would have been electric. It was Rahman looking for Jordan Poole, but they could not connect on the alley-oop as it falls down to the floor, collected by Indiana, and they come back up court. And again, the pass down inside, looking for Morgan, is poked away by Wagner out of bounds, and it'll be Indiana ball with 19 seconds left on the clock, 8:10 left in the game.
That would have been crazy for this stadium right now if Jordan Poole could have grabbed that pass. Just a little short from Rahman, hit the front of the rim, but Jordan Poole, the 6'4" shooting guard, getting up. He can hit jump shots and clearly has the athleticism. He's a difference maker already for this team.
Indiana inbounds as they have it with Green over on the left side. Michigan's now going to double team Deron Davis. He's got nowhere to go. Double team. He finally finds an option over in Durham over on the right-hand side from 3, and it's good. That's a great find from Davis under good pressure from Michigan.
And close out just a little late from Xavier Simpson right there, who shifted over to Deron Davis, excuse me.
Again, back to single-digit deficit now for Indiana. It's 54-45 Michigan. Charles Matthews has it on the left side. Gives it to Wagner. Wagner to Matthews on the left side, and inside to Wagner again. From about 12, it's good. Nice little floater, a little Dirk-esque jumper there for the German Mo Wagner for 2, and it's now an 11-point game with 7:22 to play.
Little two-man game right there from Mo and Matthews, and now Mo trying to get the crowd into this one.
Robert Johnson has it for Indiana, just shy of midcourt. He drives inside all by himself, goes to the rack, and it falls. No good. Ball is out of bounds. They're going to say it went off of Indiana. It'll be Michigan ball. It was a nice drive from Robert Johnson, but a miss. Michigan will have it when we come out of the timeout with 7:07 remaining in this one. Michigan leads 56-45 over the Hoosiers. WCBN sports coverage of Michigan basketball.
I said at the under 12 media timeout, Indiana needs this to be a single-digit game by the under 8. 11-point game now, 7:07 to go as we hit that under 8 media timeout. Michigan in control. Every time that Indiana cuts into this lead, Michigan has an answer. The most recent little two-man action from Mo Wagner and Charles Matthews, the pick and the pop as both Indiana's defenders turn their attention to Matthews off the screen.
A lot going on around the sporting world today. Again, we'll have basketball wrapping up here at Chrysler. Got a lot of conference championship games in the college football universe today. Michigan obviously not a part of that, but they will await their bowl bid later on this week, most likely.
Tomorrow should be
the announcement.
Yep. And some big news actually for Michigan. Shea Patterson, the Mississippi quarterback, former 5-star recruit, granted his transfer requests, and Michigan appears to be the favorite for Patterson. He visited for the Michigan-Ohio State game, likely will visit again in the coming weeks. That would be a big get for Jim Harbaugh, who would be the best quarterback on the roster. It would depend on the NCAA's decision, since his eligibility spans past, you actually told me this pregame, past the bowl ban. The NCAA would have to grant him a waiver to be immediately eligible.
A 2-year bowl ban for Ole Miss includes this year, which would mean that Shea Patterson would be eligible, or would not be eligible, because it does not fully extend the length of his remaining NCAA eligibility. So we'll see how all of that plays out. But Michigan again in the gridiron is looking at either probably the Outback Bowl in Tampa or the Holiday Bowl in San Diego would be the best guesses at this point. Music City Bowl in Nashville, the Pinstripe Bowl in New York, also options, but likely to go to a lower Big Ten team than Michigan, who comes in at 8-4.
And how much fun would a Jim Harbaugh against Stanford matchup be in the Holiday Bowl in San Diego? They're one of the likely opponents from the Pac-12, along with Washington State, if that's a bowl. And then in the Outback Bowl, you'd be looking at possibly Mississippi State, possibly LSU, depending on how everything shakes out with the number of SEC teams in New Year's Six bowls.
7:07 to play as we finally again come out of the national media timeout. 56-45 in favor of Michigan. And it's Michigan's ball as we come out of the timeout. It'll be Abdur-Rahman with the inbounds to Xavier Simpson as we're back underway. Simpson comes up the floor and edges to the left side. He gets a pick there from Teskey, kicks over on the left again to Charles Matthews, who's working his way under the basket. Tried to go to Jordan Poole over in the right corner, but that pass came in a little too hot, bounced out of his hands and into the Michigan bench. Indiana basketball. As the Hoosiers come up the floor. They've got it with Colin Hartman, who goes back to Green. Green working inside on Rahman, who goes up to the brim, and no good. It bounces off the back iron. He also lost his shoe. As now Rahman's got it. Poole's over in the right corner. Back to Rahman. Over to Matthews. Simpson, Michigan had a man advantage. They get it over to Poole in the right corner for three. It's good.
And it took a while, but they ended up taking advantage of it as Newkirk still hadn't gotten back down.
Green had lost his shoe on the last play. Unable to regather it, and Michigan finally finding Jordan Poole. He's got 19 points on the night. He's 5 for 10 from 3, and Michigan leads 59-45 with 6:08 to play. Juwan Morgan went inside for Indiana in the paint on that one. Did not get it to go off the finger roll at the rim. It bounced off the front. Michigan recollects.
Rockman stared down Poole his entire drive up the court, had a little bit of space and wanted to go to him in the corner, but didn't have the passing lane.
Rockman's got it on the right side. As he comes back across, fights off Juwan Morgan, and they're going to get Morgan for a foul. Or no, they're going to give it a kickball violation instead.
Michigan now in the bonus.
No, they did call foul on Morgan. And so Michigan, as you said, is in the bonus. They, again, signaled kickball after the foul call, but it'll send Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman to the line for 2.
I think they actually signaled the trip. When he stuck his foot out like that.
As Rahman hits the first, that also a very similar looking call.
Yeah, it was more of like a hip bump than a trip, but
yeah.
Either way, 2 free throws for Rahman as he made the first of the end one.
And the second is good. Hits them both off the foul from Juwan Morgan. It's 61-45 Michigan with 5:45 to play. As Newkirk brings it up the floor, he stands right at midcourt. Gets it over to Durham. Durham over to Hartman. Hartman is going to get a foul called against Michigan. It's a reach-in on Charles Matthews. Oh no, they're going to call one down low on Teskey instead. I thought they could have got a reach as well on Matthews there at the end of the play, but it'll go against Teskey. Off the ball foul, and that'll be the third on Teskey tonight. And again, Juwan Morgan will step to the line with a chance to add to his total. He's got 18 so far tonight. He's been 4 for 6 at the line. The first one is no good, as Michigan will collect. Again, both teams in the bonus. Xavier Simpson has the ball for Michigan as he crosses midcourt and gives it to Charles Matthews on the left, who gives it to Rockman. Over to Poole on the right. Matthews goes back to Simpson on the left, trying to go deep down inside. A nice find with Charles Matthews, just unable to corral the pass. The ball is loose. Both teams fighting for it as Morgan finally gets a bounce pass over to Colin Hartman, and Indiana has possession.
And how about Rockman diving on the floor with a 16-point lead, always hustling, great competitor.
5 minutes to play, 61-45 Michigan. Driving inside is Durham. Durham goes right to the rack. It's good off the back of the glass, 61-47 Michigan.
Michigan just needs to work the clock, use all the 30 seconds on the shot clock on their offensive possessions.
Durham's got 5 on the night after that last basket. Charles Matthews goes for 3 for Michigan from the left corner, and it's no good. As you said, Michigan not using the entirety of the shot clock there, as Indiana comes back down the floor for Hartman, a dead-eye three-point shooter, but he misses wide.
Not a great shot right there, airballed it, and quick threes missed by both teams last 2 possessions.
Michigan's hit 5 of their last 7 on their trips down the floor. Rockman scooting around inside on the right, comes back out, gives it to Poole, who gives it to Simpson on the left. Simpson cuts inside and kicks back out to Matthews, as Michigan again slows down, 7 left on the clock. Matthews goes inside to Teskey. Teskey at the rim. He draws the foul from Durham. They got the mismatch, and Teskey just unable to finish the and one. But he'll be at the line for 2 after the timeout. We hit the under 4. There's 3:58 to play. 61-47 Michigan.
I'm telling you, if John Teskey ever gets some touch, some shooting touch that is, he's going to be a force for this Michigan team. He's got the size. He's excellent on the defensive end. Excellent rebounder. Takes up a lot of space. He just needs that shooting touch to knock down layups, floaters, and mid-range jumpers, and he'll really be a force.
Leading scorers again, Jordan Poole has 19 for Michigan. The next closest is Mo Wagner with 10. And Juwan Morgan has 18 for Indiana. The next closest is Green with 7. Robinson is the only man really in deep foul trouble for Michigan. He's got 4. Teskey has 3. Indiana, both Morgan and Hartman have 3, as does Deron Davis.
And Michigan, like we've been saying the last few possessions, they can't lose this game unless they miss free throws or just they take quick shots and waste their possessions. They are in firm control of this one. Indiana, not a great three-point shooting team, just 2 of 7 on the day. They haven't taken many, so they're not going to eat into the lead that way. Michigan just needs to shorten this game as much as possible.
And again, Hartman was really their dead-eye three-point shooter off the bench, but airballed his last attempt.
That was why he came in the game. I'd be surprised if he stays in. That's the only reason he's in. They just need to get quick buckets with their guards right now or dump it down low. They don't have time to run their regular offense.
Gotta love the media timeouts. WCBN Sports coverage, non-commercial. Always continuous coverage throughout the entirety of the event. Chris Pickler and Nate Sorensen had the first half. Myself and Evan Osterley here in the second. As Michigan continues to roll 61-47. And just looking at the schedule ahead of them again, we briefly mentioned this, Evan. They play at Ohio State on Monday night, and then next week face both UCLA and Texas.
Yeah, they'll face UCLA here at Chrysler next Saturday. That'll be a noon tip, and then they'll head to Texas after that one. A tough turnaround for them, as that's a Tuesday game, 8 p.m. Central Time, so it'll be a 9 o'clock Eastern Time tip-off. But Texas, a good young team with Shaka Smart. They have Mo Bamba, projected lottery pick for the NBA draft, and UCLA with freshman point guard Jalen Hands, always tough. It's going to be a tough week, but a telling one for Michigan. They've lost 2 games so far, a close one against LSU, and then got blown out in Chapel Hill against a good, experienced North Carolina team. But again, learn from those losses. It's early in the season. Those losses aren't going to hurt an NCAA tournament resume very much. Michigan hasn't lost any bad games, and some chances to get some quality wins on their resume over the next week.
As we come out of the timeout, John Teskey is going to be at the line for 2 here with a 14-point lead for Michigan. Teskey sends the first one up, nothing but net. It is good. As we will await the second. Again, Teskey puts it up, and again, it's good. He hit them both. As he will also very quickly check out after hitting the 2 free throws, and Mo Wagner will come in. Teskey has 6 points on the night.
5 of 8 now from the line for Michigan. If Indiana cuts in this lead at all, they'll be shooting a lot more free throws on the stretch.
Josh Newkirk just pushed his way all the way through the paint. Michigan looking a little helpless there as Indiana goes up and good for the 2. It's 63-49 with 3:40 to play.
And we're seeing a little bit of full court press here from Indiana, trying to create some turnovers.
Yep, Durham is pressuring Xavier Simpson, who gets it to Charles Matthews, to Rockmon, back to Duncan Robinson on the right side. As the ball shifts its way over to the left with Simpson, a poke away and almost a steal for Indiana. It's a nice effort by Durham. As now Michigan's got a couple options. They give it to Mo Wagner on the left for 3. He bounces off the back iron, no good.
That looks good going up. The rainbow shot from Wagner just a little long there.
Driving inside again is Newkirk, and he goes all the way to the hoop, but is blocked this time, and now underneath. I think they're going to say a jump ball, perhaps. No, they're going to say it was ball out of bounds, and it will stay with Indiana. Fighting for it down on the floor was Mo Wagner, and they're going to say he was out of bounds when he touched it. So it'll be Indiana ball with 21 left on the shot clock, 3:06 to play in the game. They're down by 14.
The problem with the full court press, too, for Indiana is it uses so much time. If you don't force a turnover, it's going to be a long possession almost every single time.
Juwan Morgan has it. He gives it to Durham. Durham goes back to Josh Newkirk.
Crowd didn't like the call on the replay.
Juwan Morgan again has it on the right side. Indiana trying to push inside the perimeter, but harassed by Mo Wagner, and he gets the steal, but they call a foul. That will slow Michigan's progress. The foul will go against Indiana.
Newkirk on the foul there.
Yep. And that will be Newkirk's first of the night. Michigan would have had a wide open break down the floor, but instead they will go to the line for 2 with Mo Wagner stepping to the charity stripe.
14-point lead, 2:47 to go. Michigan in firm control of this one, but crazier things have happened. Michigan needs to be smart down the stretch, and
as Wagner hits the first,
and just not turn the ball over, not give easy baskets. Let Indiana shoot threes all day long. Load up the paint, make them work for anything inside.
Michigan by 15. Wagner with the second from the line. He misses off the back. So it'll remain 64-49 Michigan with 2:43 to play as Durham comes up the court. Steps inside, gets it to Juwan Morgan, who has his back to Mo Wagner. Now turns inside on him, drives up to the rim, and good. Nice play there by Juwan Morgan, who continues to harass Michigan down low tonight. So it's a 13-point game in favor of Michigan with 2:18 to play as Xavier Simpson is again being harassed on that full court press by Durham, but is able to get it back across center court. 15 on the shot clock for Michigan. Pass over to Robinson, who finds Wagner inside with the one-hand jam. That should about be the nail in the coffin with just 2 minutes to go. Wagner on the slam, 66-51 Wolverines.
And that hoop is still shaking. Wagner with the authority.
As Indiana came down the floor, it was a shot from Jones that rimmed out no good, and then the foul called on the board. The foul is going to go against Mo Wagner, and that's going to be his 3rd of the night. He'll stay in the game, though. And that will send Juwan Morgan to the line, as they have a couple substitutions come into play here for Indiana. They will send Josh McRoberts in alongside Green, with Morgan stepping to the line for 2, or for 1 and 1, I should say. It's the first.
The way that Indiana's guards played the other night against Duke, I thought it'd be much more of a problem for Michigan handling their guards, but they were excellent defensively, forcing Indiana basically into just a low post game, and that's the reason they have a 13-point lead with under 2 minutes to go now. This has been a great team effort from Michigan on the defensive end.
Second from the line is good for Morgan. He's got 22 on the night, as Michigan brings it up the floor with Muhammad Ali Abdur-Rahman with 1:39 to play. Indiana not too keen on fouling here, down by 13 points. Rahman's got it on the right side, right in front of the scorer's table. Cuts up through the paint, kicks it over to Matthews for 3 from the left corner. It's good. 69-53 in favor of Michigan with 1:20 to play.
This is an Indiana team that averages 78 points per game. They're not even going to score 60.
As the up and under from Morgan is good. And really the only man that can score for Indiana's got 24. 69-55 with 1 minute exactly left to play here. Xavier Simpson again on the right side in front of the scorer's table, just dribbling some time off the shot clock. He's got 16 left. Now cuts inside, gives it over to Robinson on the right corner and back to Simpson. Now Indiana's going to double team. They get it to Robinson, back over to Rahman, back over to Matthews in the corner for 3 again. He missed this time as it bounces out of bounds, and they're going to call a foul on the floor. I think it's going to go against Indiana. Oh no, they call it against Michigan. It's against Mo Wagner. John Beilein not happy with the call. Michigan, though, still up by 14 with 41 seconds to play. Not sure what they saw there, but either way, Indiana will go to the line for 2. And the 1-and-1, Colin Hartman misses the first. Michigan with the rebound. Good jump there from Rahman to get the board.
Yeah, strong closeout on that rebound by Rahman, and now Michigan just working the clock, under 30 seconds to go.
Wolverines won't be able to dribble the clock out here. It's going to be about a 10-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock, but Michigan will win this game. As Rahman turns, drives towards the rim, puts it up, it's no good. Indiana collects with 17 seconds to go. They give it to Jones, who dribbles up court. Goes for 2, no good. Michigan coming up the court now with 7 seconds to go as Rahman, will he decide to try and go for it? He will not. He will hold off. Michigan will win this one as the final buzzer sounds, 69-55 over the Hoosiers.
That's 1-0 in Big Ten play for Michigan, Jeremy, and the defense was excellent today. It's been a problem at times this season, but holding an Indiana team that averages 78 points a game to just 55 here, excellent showing by the guards. Eli Brooks, Jordan Poole, Marr, and Rahman, along with Xavier Simpson, all of them excellent so far this season, but today was really an outstanding performance. Look for more Jordan Poole going forward. There's just no way that John Beilein can't give him action. He's been so excellent shooting the ball, and today we saw him do more on defense as well.
As we said, Michigan goes to 7-2, 1-0 in Big Ten play. Indiana, meanwhile, falling to 4-4, 0-1 to start the season in the conference. Again, thank you for tuning in to WCBN Sports coverage of Michigan's men's basketball. Your final score from Chrysler, Michigan 69, Indiana 55. For Chris Pickler, Nate Sorensen, Evan Osterly, I'm Jeremy Parks. As always, we leave you with a good night and a Go Blue.